So over the years, I've worked in a lot of different companies around the world, and many companies have a culture of fear. People withhold their contribution, they don't participate, there's apathy because of the fear in the company. And this undermines productivity, engagement, and everything. And even I've worked in companies that don't have this kind of culture of fear. And yet there are people who still withhold. They don't participate as fully as they might. They don't share openly their opinions and their thoughts. And when you look at it, it's that even though externally the culture may not be one of fear, people still have fear about sharing openly. So when my company goes in to work with people, what we look at is not how do we get people engaged, but what sits underneath the lack of engagement, and that's often fear. Now, often a team leader, a manager, a director, even senior management will realize that people need to be more engaged, they need to be more participatory. And so they'll call in a company like mine to come in and do team building work or clarify goals and vision, etc., to try and find a way to get people more engaged. Well, what I've found are there are a couple components that have to take place before you will get more engagement from the people in an organization. One is that unless the senior management or the team leader or the manager who wants to develop this team is actively involved in the process of creating an environment of openness, of honesty, of communication, then people just look at whatever workshop, training, seminar, anything that's brought in, they look at that as another training du jour. They roll their eyes going, this too shall pass. And they don't really get engaged in the process. They go through the motions, but eventually people fall back to their defaulted behavior that they always do. So the first prerequisite in creating a more open and trusting and vital environment in any kind of team or company is that the management of those people has to be involved in the process. They have to participate in the seminars, in the workshops, in the scenario to start to create a more open and trusting environment. And that means that managers may be called upon to receive feedback from the team and model how it is you can talk openly and honestly to people without fear of repercussion or consequence. So I work with managers and teams to get everyone engaged and to make sure that the team leader, the manager, or the senior management role models the type of environment they want to create. Because without that, people figure, why bother? What's the point? We're being asked to change, but they're not engaged in that as well. The other thing that I find that really helps to start to create openness in an environment where there's been a lot of fear is for the manager or the team leader to do empathic listening, really taking into consideration what people are offering as their point of view, as their perspective, their ideas. Because I found that people just want to be heard. And when a manager really takes into consideration what someone is offering as a point of view, an idea, and really listens and asks questions to understand what the thinking is behind that person's idea, even if that manager comes to a different decision than what that person offered up, most likely that person will align and support what the managers decided because they felt heard, they felt respected, and they feel like their value as a contributor is deeply considered. And so those are some of the things that are required to start to create engagement in a company. And that's what we go after when I go in and work with teams, companies, and people.